Juneteenth holiday in conjunction with Father's Day. It's a Juneteenth holiday. Monday is a federal holiday for Juneteenth. You know, I seen something on the news yesterday that kind of threw me back a little bit. And in it said that yesterday, Juneteenth holiday, this weekend, was going to be one of the busiest travel days, like Thanksgiving and Memorial Day weekend. Juneteenth weekend, holiday weekend, was going to be one of the busiest travel days. Now, they showed some people at the airport. They showed, I think it was a DCA up in DC. It used to be Reagan National. I think it still is. But anyway, they showed lines wrapped around from TSA and everything because there were so many people traveling this weekend. But I had to pause for a minute and ask myself, who are all these people traveling on Juneteenth holiday? And the reason I asked that question is I want you to remember this. And I've said it here on the show, and I'm going to say it again. Many of the people who are taking advantage of this Juneteenth holiday weekend and taking a long weekend are the same people, or some of the people who had a problem with Juneteenth actually being a holiday. Some of the people that were in line in TSA trying to travel to go wherever they were going or everything had a problem with Juneteenth becoming a federal holiday. But they're taking advantage of it now to travel, see family, do it. And not in the celebration of Juneteenth, but in the celebration that they got a little time off. Let's just be real about it. Brian Hoodie, good morning, appreciate you. Let's be real. So I did some research. And it says here, the establishment of Juneteenth as a federal holiday also makes good economic sense. According to U.S. travel estimates, a new holiday weekend in June would spur 46 million Americans to travel, which would generate $17.4 billion in travel spending, directly supporting 143,000 jobs and producing $2.7 billion in government tax revenue. So basically what they're telling me is that a Juneteenth holiday is not about the celebration or the recognition of what it stands for. It's about a financial gain because it's another long travel weekend. And for all you out there, or those that know people out there who had a problem with this becoming a federal holiday, and then they concentrate on the fact of, it being a financial, gain for the industry, the airline industry, the travel industry, and things like that. I will say to you that those that didn't want this to be a holiday, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And I found this quote, this phrase, it's a statement. And it deals with Juneteenth, but it also deals with our history as a whole. And it said, history is not there for you to like or dislike. It is there for you to learn from it. And if it offends you, it's even better, because then you are less likely to repeat it. It's not yours to erase. It belongs to all of us. And this can go with Juneteenth. This can go with them taking the books out of the classrooms. This can go about the suppression and the diversity training and equity. And then we're going to get into that a little later, but all the different things you can think about. The history part of it needs to be talked about, needs to be addressed. Juneteenth holiday has went from we don't want it to be a holiday to we're not recognizing it for what it is to a cash cow. Big Al, what's up, my big brother? What's going on, man? Appreciate you. To a cash cow. So I got something I want to run past you from my thinking. Some will agree, some may not. But I'm going to put it in this text. Let's start here. Let's go here first. This is the flag of the United States of America. The flag of the United States of America. Everybody knows what it is. Everybody knows what it looks like. Everybody, I think, knows exactly what it stands for. It says the American flag is a symbol of freedom and liberty to which Americans recite the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag's 13 alternating red and white stripes representing the 13 original colonies. Its 50 white stars on a blue field represent the 50 states. The colors on the flag each have a meaning: red for valor and bravery, white for purity and innocence, blue for vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Now, we all correlate this flag to July 4th, 1776. Not the day that the flag was actually put into part to be represented, but that's the Declaration of Independence Day. Let me just be clear. July 4th, 1776. That's what this flag represents. As I mentioned, freedom and liberty. And they got freedom and liberty when they decided to leave England because they didn't want to stay under the government. But here's another flag. This is the flag that represents Juneteenth. And we only see this flag representing Juneteenth when it's time to celebrate Juneteenth. But we see the United States flag, the United States of America flag every day, all day. No problem with that. But I want to bring something up about the Juneteenth flag, and it's been celebrated for almost 157 years, Juneteenth has. It was first celebrated in Texas on June 19th, 1866, to commemorate the end of slavery and enslaved people first learning of the Emancipation Proclamation. Juneteenth flag was created in order to signify and solidify the holiday for all Americans, and the Juneteenth flag is most noted for its distinct colors and shapes. Over 2 decades since its creation, people across the country are still utilizing the flag as a symbol of liberty and freedom for Black Americans. I want to stop there. Because if you recall, when the United States of America flag was first instituted, there was no freedom for the African American. But the flag symbolizes liberty and freedom, which is the same thing this Juneteenth flag stands for as well, in the representation. I got a history on this flag. The Juneteenth flag was, created by Ben Hay. He was an activist and organizer. He founded the National Juneteenth Celebration Foundation, created the flag in 1997 in collaboration with Verlene Hines. Flag represents, now let's get into the colors. The Juneteenth flag symbolizes freedom and justice for Black Americans and African Americans. The colors of the flag are similar to the United States flag because all Americans are able to understand and recognize the importance of African American history. Remember what I just read about history. One cannot separate African American history from America's history, and the flag reminds us of just that. Why is the Juneteenth flag blue and red? The colors of the flag were deliberately chosen by Haith and the collaborators to showcase that African Americans were always American, even throughout enslavement. The Black community is one with America. The colors chosen further the notion that America must ensure that all citizens have access to liberty and justice for all. What do the star and arc represent in the Juneteenth flag? The most notable feature of the flag is its star and arc. The star is another callback to the United States flag, representing that Black people are free in all 50 states. The Emancipation Proclamation was first to read and acknowledge in Galveston, Texas. Texas, also known as the Lone Star State, played a significant role in the addition of the star. Although Texas was the state that the documentation was read in, it represents freedom across the nation alongside the star. The outline, burst, and arc represent the new horizon and new opportunities that are to come for Black people. Now, I've read you all this history, and I've read you everything, the Juneteenth. Everybody knows Juneteenth, 1865. Emancipation Proclamation. Didn't find out until later on that they were free, so on and so forth. We go through this area, but I want to concentrate on the flag. And the reason I want to concentrate on the flag is for this. We only see, as I mentioned, the Juneteenth flag when it comes to Juneteenth celebration. But what it represents is in concert with what the United States of America flag represents, with the colors, with the stars, and the liberty and freedom that they represent. So my question to you out there, and I know this is going to get a little feedback, a little pushback, but I might bring this up because I got a picture I want to show you. See this picture? See how both flags are flying at the same time? and that's our nation's capital. This is drawing depiction. Would there be a problem with these two flags being flown simultaneously on a daily basis in this United States of America? And if so, why not? And why would it be a problem if you don't think it should be flown that way? Because let's be clear. Both flags represent liberty and justice and freedom for a people. For a people. The United States of America flag did not include Black Americans, African Americans at the time until Juneteenth. Then we have the Juneteenth flag that represents liberty and justice for Black Americans, African Americans, to show that they're a part of this country because of the history. So I'm going to ask you again, why has there not been any talk, legislation about these two flags flying consistently together other than when the Juneteenth holiday comes around? Because this is a part of our history. This is part of what this country is about. I'm just throwing it out there. Somebody help me out. Reggie P., good morning, my brother. Good morning. See, this is where, for me, I look at things with a wide lens. Because you can't tell me that we're all about justice, liberty, justice, and freedom when we know the history of the things that have gone on in this country, but we still fail to recognize them at the times when they should be recognized. We only set aside a certain day that these things should be recognized. Now, I'm not the brightest light bulb in the socket. I don't do legislation, but let me show you a better picture if you don't want the depiction there. Look how beautiful that is. Look how beautiful they are flying together. Good morning, Vernique. Appreciate you. Look at that. So is there an issue with both of these flags being flown daily, being recognized daily? Because I'm also going to put this caveat in there. You hear the uproar about, they sing the national anthem, but they also sing, the quote unquote, the Black national anthem, lift every voice at these sporting events and everything. Why can't they have the flag flying and be sang at that time with the flag being displayed and then the national anthem with the United States flag? I'm just throwing it out there. I ain't saying it's going to stick, but I'm just asking the question. Because if you're going to talk about the history of the United States, if you're going to recognize what's going on, if you're going to talk about liberty and justice and freedom, then you got to make it all inclusive. And to make it all inclusive, that means you got to know your history. And if you want to know your history, you got to recognize the history, not try to submerge it. I'm just throwing it out there on this Juneteenth weekend. It's something that came to my mind that I want to know why we can have both these flags flying every day on the capitals. African Americans, Blacks are a part of the legislature here. They were a part of the people who built this country and the buildings that they have for this legislation. So rather than us having to wait every year, June 19th, 1865, or June 19th of 2023 to recognize Juneteenth and what it stands for and what it's all about, why shouldn't this flag fly every day along with the flag of the United States of America? Because as I mentioned, and as we know, at one time before 1865 and even after, Blacks, African Americans were not even recognized as being a part of this country. But history shows that now that we're going to recognize it as a holiday of the freedom of the enslaved, why shouldn't we allow the flag to fly every day to recognize the freedom, the life, liberty, and justice for African Americans and the date it happened, compared to the date of July 4th, 1776? Draw your own conclusions. I just want to give you food for thought, something to make you think, something to put on your mind this morning, something to make you really read your history and know your history, understand your history, and know that these things don't happen by chance. But if you keep subverting the importance of our history, then this type thing right here that I'm showing you, that I'm bringing up, will never even come into a conversation. Now, some of y'all out there like, come on, bro. You know that ain't gonna happen. Probably won't. But let's talk about it. Give me a reason why. Tell me why these two flags can't fly simultaneously. Let me know. Then you have some people say, well, if that's the case, you should fly the Mexican flag, you should fly the Puerto Rican flag, you should fly this flag. No. That's not what I'm telling you. African Americans were enslaved people here. And mind you, if you go through your history and read, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but if you go in your history, read, African Americans were here before Columbus supposedly discovered America, along with the indigenous people. But this is not a history lesson on that. We're talking about Juneteenth today. Let's just hold it right there. Let's keep it in the pocket. Keep it in the pocket, coolers. Keep it in the pocket. Just gonna keep it there for now. But all I'm saying is this. Look at those beautiful flags. Look at that beautiful flag. Look at the beautiful flags that we see flying, that we show honor to. One every day, one for a day. Now for a weekend. Draw your own conclusions. Come to your own. I got mine. I got my understanding of it. Those are the things we got to look at. Those are the things we need to truly try to understand.